Hello, this is Jessica with On a Stack of Books, and today I am going to be doing a what I am reading in October video, but also I recently went thrift shopping and I got some good books, and also just a couple that I grabbed today when I was out walking at a little free library, so I'm going to share some of those. I don't know what I will get to this month from that stack, but they're good books. So first I wanted to talk about what I plan on reading for October, and of course it's the spooky season thriller, murder mystery, fun horror. So I did pull some very those theme related books. But the first one, I have been very excited to read this. This is going to be my very first Stephen King read. And I am very shocked that I have not read Stephen King yet. But I haven't. I've watched all his movies probably. And so I've had this book, I've been holding it for October. So it's got 4. I am going to be reading The Shining. I've seen this movie so many times and it's just very iconic scenes and red rum and all that stuff. And so I don't feel like I have to say anything about it. I feel like people know The Shining. And so I'm super duper late to the party in reading it, but this is the first one. My aunt went on and on about how great the book was and how the movie was nothing like the book. And so she was like, you're gonna love the book. So I'm just really excited to read it. And I think this is the book that I'm gonna do my read with me, walk with me. So I will read the first chapter and then I will go through and vlog style read this one. So this is our first book for October. Very excited for Stephen King. Okay, and then I have the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and it is this is our in-person book club book that we chose, and it's a pretty short book. This actually this edition that I have, I think, has a couple of stories in it, and so I also downloaded the audio version. So because it's short, I thought I would kind of go back and forth. I'm not a big audiobook person, but kind of hearing the spookiness of it and knowing I've watched several movies about this story and different renditions. So we're very excited to read this, listen to it for book club, and then we can talk about it. And so this has also been on the list and we've been excited to read that. So that is our in-person book club. This is just from my shelf, and because it says the best horror novel I've read since Peter Straub's Ghost Story, and that is Stephen King, and it's called Breed. So I figured I don't read a lot of horror, but this is a married couple, that Alex and Leslie, and they are trying to conceive, and they are part of a group where, sort of like a support group, where people, you know, they've gone to fertility doctors, they can't conceive for whatever reason, and one of the people in there tells them about this doctor in I think Slovenia, that is this cutting edge, and he will get you pregnant, and you know, it's fantastic. And so they go and they do get pregnant. But it's a horror story, so it takes an ugly turn, and they end up having twins, and the parents are locking them away at night. During the day they go to school, they're out and about, but at night they lock them away. And so we're not sure if they're locking them away for the parents' safety or for the children's safety. But so this will be a fun horror to read during October. Then I have, this is the second, The Dead Man of Storr, J.M. Daigliesh, one of the series that I read couple of months back. So this is book 2, and again, it's a murder mystery, so I just thought it would be very fitting, and it's the same D.I. Duncan McAdam, and so it is an art gallery the owner of an art gallery, and he is found dead on a mountain. And he's sort of a photographer. He does different art mediums, but you know, it seems like he could be out taking photographs of the scenery, and he's found dead. So he is investigating that. And so it's the same town, it's the same area in Scotland. And so, you know, we have sort of, you know, that same character. So it just kind of picks up where the last one left off. And I like that with series because they're easy to jump into. So we have that one. And then this is Relic, and I have been meaning to reread this for a while, and so I thought this is the perfect time to reread it, and then maybe it'll jumpstart me into the series again, and I can read Reliquary and then My Still Life with Crows. So this is my plan for October. This is what I hope to read. I hope to get to. I will get to it. I will. But this is the plan. But then I went thrift shopping and I got a bunch of really good books. So here they are. And I'm not going to go into them too much, but Ruth Ware, It Girl. I have read Ruth Ware. I have several of her books. They're very good. They're always dark and twisty-turny and, you know, thriller. So I grabbed that. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a... And this book, my brother has gone on and on about how great it is, and so I saw it and I grabbed it. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. This just looked really seasonally creepy and like a fun read. I don't really know much about it, but Mallory Quinn is fresh out of rehab when she takes a job babysitting Ted and Caroline Maxwell's 5-year-old son, Teddy. She immediately bonds with this sweet boy who is never without his sketchbook. His drawings are the usual fare, trees, rabbits, balloons, but one day he draws something different, a man dragging a woman's lifeless body. Then his stick figures evolve into increasingly sophisticated sketches depicting one disturbing scene after another. Sounds perfect for Halloween, so grab that. This one I was so excited to find because I've been wanting to read this. So I won't get to this in October, I don't think, but it's on my list. I really want to read this. So I was very excited. Let's see. Then I grabbed this for my daughter because I have the crow, the Six of Crows. So I grabbed this for her, and I might read it too. Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World. I thought this would be a very interesting read. And other than just sort of like thinking that, you know, he helped populate the whole world, I don't know really his story in detail, so I thought this might be a good historical fiction, or just, I don't even know how this author categorizes this, but so I'm excited to read this. And then I picked up Frieda McFadden's The Housemaid. I have read Frieda McFadden. I've read her Ward D. I feel like I read another one of hers and I can't think of it right now. But I do have the house. I have the red cover one. I can't think of it. It's on my shelf over there, but I can't see it. So I picked this up because I know they go together. I don't know which one goes before which, but yep. This one is The Wren by Anne Enright, and it just sounded really cool. I don't know anything about this book until I found it in the thrift store, but Nell McDarragh never knew her grandfather, the celebrated Irish poet Phil McDarragh. I don't know. But his love poems seem to speak directly to her. Restless and Riley, self-assured, at 22, Nell leaves her mother Carmel's orderly home to find her own voice as a writer, mostly online, ghost blogging for an influencer, and to live a poetic life. As she chases obsessive love, damage, and transcendence in Dublin and beyond, her grandfather's poetry seems to guide her home. Nell's mother, Carmel McDara, knows the magic of her daddy-o's poetry too well, the kind of magic that makes women in their 90s slip outside for a kiss and then elope, as her mother Terry had done. In his poems to Carmel, Phil envisions his daughter as a bright-eyed wren ascending an escape from his hand. But it is Phil who departs, abandoning his wife and 2 young daughters. Carmel struggles to reconcile the poet with the father whose desertion scars her life, along with that of her fiercely dutiful sister and their gentle, cancer-ridden mother. To distance herself from this betrayal, Carmel turns inward, raising Nell, her daughter, and once trusted love alone. The reviews on this were really, really good, and so I am drawn to birds because of my daughter, and I love wrens, so it looked good. And then lastly is A Tale of Two Cities and Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. So just 2 classics that I have not read and I don't have, although I think I have A Tale of Two Cities, but this was beautiful. So, and then oddly enough, the list goes on. So today I was out walking with my husband and we I had some books that I put in a little free library, and I had just watched Pat with Book Chat with Pat, and she had posted, or in her video, she was talking about Oscar Wilde, The Importance of Being Earnest, and she said this was a hilarious play, and so I grabbed it, and I would not have known to pick it up had I not just watched her video, and so I haven't read any of Oscar Wilde, and I don't read a lot of plays, and so I was like, well, that's just funny, because I literally just watched that, and she said it's hilarious. This has 5 plays in it, but so I grabbed this, and then the other one that was in the little free library was Female Husbands, A Trans History. And so I just thought this would be very interesting. I don't know, it sort of seems like a little bit of historical fiction, and just long before people identified as transgender or lesbian, there were female husbands and the women who loved them. Female husbands, people assigned female who transgender, lived as men, and married women, were true queer pioneers, moving deftly from the colonial era to just before World War I. Jen Manion uncovers the riveting and very personal stories of ordinary people who lived as men despite tremendous risk, danger, and threat of violence. Female Husbands weaves the story of their lives in relation to broader social, economic, and political developments in the United States and the United Kingdom, while also exploring how attitudes towards female husbands shifted in relation to transformations in gender politics and women's rights, ultimately leading to the demise of the category of female husband. In the early 20th century, groundbreaking and influential Female Husbands offers a dynamic, varied, and complex history of the LGBTQ past. So again, just sounded really interesting, and so I grabbed it. So thrifting, I got a whole bunch, and then these 2 were just sort of today on a whim as I was putting stuff in. I don't always find books when I put books in the little free library. Sometimes you just gift books and don't get anything, and other times you find all sorts of stuff. So I'm excited for October. I am excited to read my spooky horror and some classics, and yeah, so I know Stephen King is a well-known, my parents read all of his books, and I know that, you know, he's super well-known and popular. I don't hear about The Shining a whole lot, so I'm excited that this is my first one. I want to read it. That's very scary, but we're starting here. We're going to see how it goes. And yeah, so I'm very excited for October reading, and thank you for watching. And until next time, I will be reading.